put this as
Put
well
put this on the top so that you can see the
on the top,
yeah.
but it's gonna fall, bro. It's all gonna die, bro.
Oh, no way.
I just put the Winston not
Put
there, bro.
put the Winston on the top of the shelf, I guess.
Yeah. Bada bing. And
Oh no!
It's clobbering time. Boom, boom, feel the grind. When I step, you rewind.
Like 3, 2, 1. Welcome to the second episode of Esports Diaries, guys, and I have none other than like the best tank. I have no superlatives for this guy. Our very own Mr. Hadi. How you doing, Mr. Hadi? How's life been?
I'm doing good. Very good. How about you? How are you?
I am great, man. It's just like 12 in midnight for me right now while I'm recording this.
Oh
But
no.
yeah, but this is what we live for, man. Like getting you guys on and getting you guys on this podcast and talking with you, because look, India is in a very tight spot. Like whenever I have to talk to you guys on your time zone, India is always like so ahead of you guys that it has to be late night. Like last time I did Derpy, I was up at like 3 a.m. or something. I don't remember, but
Oh.
it has to be like that. So I don't really mind it because I get to talk to amazing people like yourself, and it just gives me so much perspectives, and people who look up to you get so much insights from your life as well. So how is everything like after your what was your last tournament that you played in, the one that you competed in, like
I
professionally?
mean, besides like, yeah, I mean, professionally, right?
Yeah.
Besides not that, it was the last tournaments were like not that crazy competitive. For example, I'm playing in AFO, like French tournament, just for
Right.
fun.
Just for
Basically,
fun.
just want to go to France, you know, trying to get a trip to France, see France one time.
Yeah.
And besides that, just Saudi leagues, and but the last big one was OWCS Stage 1 with Twisted Minds.
So that was pretty, like that was not bad for you, right? Like when you were playing, like the one that you were with Twisted Mind, like you probably did you personally get everything out of the tournament that you wanted, or did you want to do better?
No, I mean, to be honest, we did horribly. That's why I got fired from my job, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's okay. There's some teeny tiny bit of drama behind the scenes. Not
Right.
too big of drama, to be
Right.
honest.
Right.
But I mean, I'm very happy about their success. You know, they won the last world
Yeah.
finals.
They
It's
did. They
good for
did. Yeah.
them.
They did. They did.
And yeah. Overall, I'm very happy for them. You know.
And then where do you go from there? Like Twisted Mind did that, and now what's next for you? Like how do you transition from there? What is your plan?
So, I mean, there was a lot stuff going on in the background that's
Right.
also gonna be hard to talk about for like towards public, right? But besides that, I was just like, what to do now, you
Yeah.
know? So I put out a LFT and was seeing if anyone's interested to have me, but of course I want a competitive salary, right? Because at
Right.
this point in my career I'm an adult, you know.
Right.
So I got my bills to pay, you know. I got to think about a sustainable life, you know. Got to think about something that makes sense, right?
Right.
Because I like to compete for the fun of it, but
Right.
unfortunately my landlord as of now he doesn't take fun as a currency. So so they I always gotta think about money, like balancing, you know, like what I want to do, what's the most fun to me,
Right.
and what I'm most passionate about, and also what makes me money.
And
So
how
I
can you
was just about,
monetize it? How can you monetize your passion, basically?
yeah, exactly. And how can I like monetize it to an extent that's worth my time, you know, in a sense.
Is streaming somehow supporting you, or like do you wish to
Yes. Streaming has supported me very well. It's good.
It's good.
I'm for sure now that I'm doing streaming now.
Yeah.
It supported me pretty well.
Right.
So I can live off of it. It's like decent, you know. The thing is like the nice thing with streaming compared to pro players, streaming is way more scalable, you know. Like on pro play, you're kind of capped at a certain salary unless the esport really pop off or you're like really the
True,
best
true, true.
on your role,
Yeah.
like fully, then maybe you can get more. But usually you're like kind of get like capped. At least like the season that I played last, you were like kind of in a cap that's like maybe 4K USD, you know, the greatest players maybe 6K USD monthly, you know,
Yeah.
plus prize pool and stuff. Now some people I know they make more, but it's just there's like multiple factors, you
Yeah,
know.
but then when you start
But
streaming, you can just do a lot more. Like you can just, put in more
I mean,
hours.
yeah, exactly. You can just do different stuff, right? Like the thing with streaming is
Yeah.
you don't in a sense it's like a bit more stressful, but it's also less stressful. Like there's multiple like facets to it because like if you have no viewers and you do nothing, you maybe make like $10 a month, you know.
Yeah.
And then if you're like somebody like XQC or Flats, if we're talking about Overwatch, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you can make like 1 million a year, you
Yeah.
know,
So
like
that
more than 1 million a year. So it's like extremely like scalable
so
to a
you can't
certain
do
thing.
that in esports though. Like if you're competing, you can't really be earning
Yeah,
that
you
much.
can't
You can't be
you
doing that.
can't be earning that much,
So,
right? Like you gotta win like everything
everything.
and be the
Yeah.
best player on your role and be the highest rated player in your esport, you know, at least for Overwatch, right?
Yeah.
Like and there's some other esports, right? Like if you're playing CS, Valorant, League, like some of the salaries were like leaked, right? Like you can make hella money in those games, but Overwatch, it can like sustain you, but you're not making a fortune of it, at
Right.
least in the current OWCS circuit, you know?
True. 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 I agree. I agree. When it comes to like Overwatch esports, right? There was a time when you were not playing pro, like back in the day. There was a time that you started, or you were thinking
Yes.
about it.
Hmm.
If we jump back to that day, that Hadi of that time, um, how did that Hadi um, venture into a proper team with a fixed salary, or a proper esports structure, or a good organization, or a good management? How did that transition kick in? When did you realize that part? Like, okay, now I can actually get paid to play, or I'm good enough, or let me just try out. Or was it a tryout process, or how was the first time you got into a team? How was that time?
Mm, I mean, so the thing is, right, when I slowly turned pro, it was like I didn't try to go pro. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like basically how my story was, I was just going to school in Germany, right? And then I finished my school and I'm like, oh, I can keep going to school so I can go to uni,
Yeah.
blah blah blah, do that. So but I didn't really know what I wanted to do, you know. I didn't really wanna like I didn't have like a great passion in any like academic field, you know. Even though I finished my school with like really good grades, you
Right.
know,
Right.
but I didn't have a passion in any academic thing. But in my off time, I love to play video games, right? I grew up with like Nintendo type games. I love the Nintendo games. You know, I was a Nintendo kid. I like the Super Mario, the Donkey
Right.
Kong, you know, all of that,
Yeah.
like the Zelda
The retro
stuff.
games. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like the kids games, you know. I like the kids games. I never played like the
Competitive
Call of
ones.
Duty
Yeah.
or like shooter games, you know. I never played those type of stuff.
Right.
So so I just see like Overwatch, right? I just see it like I don't even know where. I think like on YouTube or something, you know. And it's just like looked fun to me, you know, like because it's like colorful, different
Characters.
characters. Yeah, and like it's not like dark like the Call of Duty Battlefield, you
Yeah.
know. It's it looks like nice, it looks like inviting for
Yeah.
like a person like me with
Yeah.
like the games that I grew up with, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So I had a PlayStation back in the day, right? And I get the game for the PlayStation,
Oh, you got
and
that.
Yeah, I didn't have a
PC.
computer back in the day. Yeah, I didn't have a PC. So I play like my season 1 on PlayStation, and then I'm like, "Oh, this game is fun," and I kinda wanna play it on PC. I kinda noticed, like, early
Yeah.
that, I don't know, this game isn't really made for console. That's how I felt, I wasn't like, that type of person. So I was like, "Okay, I want a PC. Let's get a PC going." So
Yeah.
so I got a PC. I play like season 2, I get plat, season 3, I get diamond, season 4, I get GM,
Yeah.
and then like just playing for fun. I never like just improving
Yeah.
to improve. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
because the process of improving is fun. I never had in my mind to go pro or anything.
Right.
But I like the competitive aspect. Like I liked competing and getting better and just improving, just getting better in a sense, but never that try hard that I like wanted to get coached or something. I just doing it by myself,
Right.
like going up rank, playing with friends that I found on the game, etc. And that's kind of how a lot of my pro journey started off as well. So after school, right, I was like, okay,
Did you take a
what do I
break?
do now?
Did you take a
Yeah,
break?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, right. What a lot of people do is take like a year break. A lot of people go to
Yeah.
travel or
Yeah.
something, but
Yeah.
I just want to be like, okay, I'm just gonna chill and
Yeah.
just do nothing.
Yeah.
Just I had some health problems, so I was like, okay, I kind of need a break. I feel like I need a break. My family like is kind of poor, so it was like traveling was kind of out of the question anyway. But I'm not a big travel person either way, so I
Okay.
didn't really mind it. So I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna chill, just gonna see what happens, kinda,
Right.
and then I just play video games while I'm doing nothing. Never, never, I wanted to go pro, or like it wasn't my goal. So I just play ranked. I get higher rank, okay, and then players from ranked, they talk to you. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, they see you in the ranked ladder, and they're like, "Oh, can you ring for my scrim? Can you
Oh.
ring for my scrim?" And I'm like, "Okay, I can ring, I
Yeah.
guess." I've never played a scrim. I don't know how it
Right.
works, but
Right.
sure, I can ring for a scrim,
Yeah.
and it worked out good. Like I just rang for a random scrim. I
Yeah.
remember, in Young and Beautiful. Still, I actually like rang for Krantop when he was like 14 years old. I Krantop couldn't like. Oh, he was like super young, at least
Yeah.
14,
Yeah.
15, maybe
Yeah.
16,
Yeah.
probably like 14-ish. And I rang for him in a scrim. The manager hit me up and
Yeah.
wanted me to play because Kran couldn't attend the scrim.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play. And then I really like performed well in that scrim.
Yeah.
So the manager's like, oh, you can ring for future scrims if you want when Kran can't attend. I was like, okay. And then
That was
and
the
then
start.
kind of
That was the
yeah, and
start.
then kind of the word comes out,
Yeah.
and then some other like players they hit me up, or you want to play this open division, and then I'm like, okay, why not? I've nothing better to do anyways.
Yeah.
Let's just play,
Right.
and yeah, it's kind of just what I do, just play, see what happens, and then I play open division. I finish fine. I finished like in EU like one spot away from making contenders trials. We got fifth, I think,
You need top four.
and
Yeah.
yeah, you need a top four. I think we
Yeah.
got fifth,
Yeah.
so we didn't get into contenders trial. But
Yeah.
and then just, oh, what are we gonna do? I wasn't salaried at that point, by the
No,
way.
of course not.
Just all for fun playing, like
Yeah.
zero money, just playing for fun. And yeah, then there was. Then I was in an A for one contender season because,
Like
like, again, just
physically, you're just playing from you.
no, just playing with Ping from EU,
Oh,
just playing in NA team
okay.
from Europe. Didn't go that well. I had like Shoes Money Crew, Perma hit me up in between the season, and they're like, "Yo, come play for us," and they were like a contenders team, I think, or contenders trials. They're like, "Come play for us," and I didn't want to ditch my team. I was like such a nice guy. I was like, "No, I believe in my team. I don't want to leave them without the main tank, dude. I don't want to leave them without the main tank." So I kind of messed up on that opportunity, but in the end, it all worked out, right?
Yeah.
So
People know you
So
now,
then,
so like everyone.
yeah,
So do you want to, like, if you look back,
yeah.
if
Wait,
you
yeah. Let me go through that because we're almost there. We're
yeah
almost there.
yeah
So so then with that SMC, then they signed me like last minute as like an Orisa guy. So then I played Orisa.
Overwatch 1.
Is that yeah, Overwatch 1 of course, Overwatch 1.
Yeah.
I play Orisa for SMC for like a couple tournaments, and then from me like for a couple games, it kind of turned into like an Orisa meta. Goals was kind of falling out, so
Yeah.
it kind of turned a bit into an Orisa meta in
Double
Europe.
shield. Double shield.
Now it actually wasn't double shield. If some people still remember, it wasn't double shield. It was the Clockwork Vendetta comp. Like I don't know if people still remember, but it was
Hook.
like the
Roadhog hook.
Orisa. Yeah, Orisa, Hawk,
D.Va.
May, Torb,
Yeah.
Orisa, Hawk, May, Torb, Ana
Yeah.
Zen, or Mercy, triple DPS. It
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
some like weird comp.
Got it.
That
Got
was
it.
good. And yeah, then I finished this season with SMC. No, I was still in SMC, and then I had tryouts for Overwatch World Cup. Okay, so I had tryouts for Overwatch World Cup Team Germany,
Right.
right? So, and from Team Germany, from that tryout, I had Nuki, a manager. I
Yeah.
don't know if people know Nuki,
Yeah.
but she kind of scouted me from there, and the head coach from British Hurricane back in the day, his name was Knox, an OG French
KNOXX. Yeah.
player.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, OG French player. He was
Yeah.
the head coach for British Hurricane.
Yeah.
So from him seeing me play for SMC, play Orisa, plus Nuki, seeing me from the Team Germany, like tryout or like Team Germany stage in general, even after I made the team,
Yeah. Yeah.
I, they kind of wanted me for British Hurricane after Numlocked left to Envy. Like Numlocked
Ah.
went to Envy partner team
Yeah.
to NA, right? And then they needed a main tank British Hurricane, right?
Right.
So they got me into tryouts. So that was all tryout based,
Yeah.
and and then I guess I won the tryouts. I tryouted for British Hurricane, and they said, yeah, okay, we want to get you in the team, and then they just tell me, okay, we're gonna give you 2K salary a month, and I was like, okay, that's awesome.
That was
And I
first paycheck.
never
That was first paycheck, or
yeah, that was I signed with British Hurricane, right? That was
yeah.
like my first like bigger team,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Overwatch 1. I signed
Yeah.
with British Hurricane,
Yeah.
and they're like, okay, I'm gonna give you 2K USD monthly. And I still remember I'm in my parents' house, and I'm like, what the fuck? They're signing me, I'm like, "Oh, that's great, that's awesome." So yeah, that was kind of it. And then that was my first paycheck. Kind of just fell into it, kind of playing for fun, trying to be the best, but not like never trying to get paid in a
Right.
way.
So that was the first proper salary paycheck that you got. And simultaneously, did you also make the Germany World Cup squad at that point of time, or?
Yeah. I was in the Germany World Cup team, but
Got
our team wasn't like that good back in the day. Like the
Yeah.
only players that you probably know from that scene is maybe like Khan still. I think
That's it.
Khan played
That's
with
it.
us,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then it's just like older OG players, like for example Moose. The Roadhog one
Roadhog
trick
one trick.
Moose. Engineer, the top one trick, Hadi, the May one trick,
Yeah.
like all
Yeah.
of those players.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It was not a
so
proper
yeah,
structured team, yeah, back then. But right now, I'm pretty sure like you have a few like decent players for even the last World Cup was not bad, and like this World Cup will be better. I'm hoping for
Yeah, this
Germany.
World Cup has like really great roster, right?
Yeah,
Like we have like Ice Gnome and me on the tank role, and Ice Gnome can also flex, you know, to
yeah,
DPS, to support maybe.
yeah.
Then we have other great DPS players, other good support players. So I think like this
Do
World Cup team Germany is gonna be way better.
do you feel the need to swap games at any point of time? Do you think like at any point of time that there was a better game at some point of time where you could have jumped the ship or changed the ship and boarded some other game if it was needed, or are you still happy
I
with
mean,
Overwatch?
I think in hindsight, right? I think in hindsight, I should have probably at one point like made the swap to Marvel, you
Yeah,
know, like
yeah,
in like career wise,
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
but it's fine, you know. Like I played Marvel super casually for a
yeah,
couple hours. I
yeah,
got pretty high rank, you
yeah.
know, but
But that's it.
I but Overwatch more fun, you know. Like Overwatch was more fun. So
No, because you're
I
also
never
thinking.
really got
You're also thinking like because you're an old man now. Like by old, I don't mean old, but
yes.
where you have to pay your bills, right? You're
Hmm.
paying your bills yourself. So,
Yes.
uh, so when you're thinking about that part, and also at the same time you're sticking to Overwatch. So,
Mhm.
when if you would have swapped to Marvel Rivals, do you think you've like your your colleagues like Fi, Sparker, Sci-Fi,
Mhm.
like these guys, they did good, like they swapped games and they're doing good for themselves in that game, like
Yes.
they're earning
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
decently, they're playing at the highest level, and they're playing for a reputed org and stuff like that. So if you would have jumped ship, I'm pretty sure you would have stood somewhere close to them or even better than them, or maybe at the same level.
Yes.
So that decision that was not taken by you, does that affect you, or do you want to do it in the future, or do you don't want to do it at all?
I mean, I think right now it's too late. You know what I mean? Like it's like too late to swap now, and especially now with the spotlight and everything, I
Yeah.
think it's gonna look nice for Overwatch, like content creation. I'm very, very positive
Oh,
towards
100%.
everything. You know?
100%.
So I'm very optimistic about everything. I was like thinking, oh, should I go to Marvel? Should I do this? But I don't know. I never really had the passion for Marvel, you know. Like my passion is like still in Overwatch, you
Yeah.
know. So never really wanted to, and so I was always like kind of dipping, like thinking, you
Yeah.
know. And now it's like kind of too late. But now also I don't mind it, you know.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, people have the choices, because even I talked to Derpy the last time, and he talked about getting coached by you, or he talked about like taking a few pointers from you. Even he didn't want to switch to Marvel Rivals. He did play for a few, hours, I think, and he didn't like it as
Yeah,
well. So a lot of Overwatch players liked it, and then a lot of Overwatch players didn't like it. So it
yeah,
doesn't as long as it's suiting you. And now that recently Overwatch has announced this spotlight thingy, 5 new heroes, and a lot of other various changes. So many content ideas that can pop up from that. They're dipping the Overwatch name, like the Overwatch 2 is no more Overwatch 2, it's Overwatch, just Overwatch. We'll touch spotlight in a bit, but I just want to know
yeah.
a few things about your Overwatch League career, because I think everyone wants to know that. When
Mhm.
so the, so when you made Owl, right? You made it for London Spitfire, right? Um,
Mhm.
the transition was from British Hurricane, like that was the transition, how it happened, like British Hurricane to London Spitfire. Um,
Yes.
is it as glamorous as it looks, or is there something that you know people are misled into believing?
Mm. So I mean, kind of how it was, right? So I
Yeah,
joined British Hurricane, and we do really good. We change a bit of stuff, right?
yeah,
Uh, like maybe in like terms of mindset, it's like fun to talk about because I joined a team with like a lot of veterans, right? Like
right.
we had like Dennett, Tsuna, uh, Jofi, Bok One, you
Pokemon.
know. So so and Huffy Cool, right? Still on off tank role, you know,
Yeah,
66 Overwatch 1. And I finished off that season with them.
yeah,
And I still remember in the scrims I was always so nervous, right? Because I'm like the biggest rookie there, you know. So I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna troll them, you know. I don't have experience. I'm the noob, you know. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I did good, you know. I did really good.
Right.
To be fair to me, but I still just remember those moments where I'm really nervous, and Nox is trying to like coach me, you know, in one-on-one sessions and all of that stuff. But it was fun. And then the next season we move up Sparker, you know. Sparker, like there he was like on bench, Widowmaker specialist, you know.
Yeah.
But we move him up as main DPS. Huffy Cool, he also goes to Envy to an A, I think. So we
Yeah.
have to get a different off tank. So we got Molfik, if people still know Molfik. Molfik, he was great. And then Bucket, he's a doctor in real life. I don't know if
Okay.
people know that. And so he was like, okay, guy, he was like 30 years old back in the day. Is still, even though he was great at the game, he
Yeah.
was like, okay, guys, I'm just gonna be a doctor, like no more gaming.
Right.
And so we had to find a different flex support as well. And then at the end, like
Yeah.
we landed onto Ripper. So we play with that roster, right? And we
Yeah.
win like everything in Europe, you know, like literally everything. We won for like almost 2 years straight, almost no losses, you know, just
Right.
win, win, win in contenders. And that was great, you know. That was also like great for the money part, you know. If you win every tournament, you make sizable amount of more money. So that was good. And yeah, then we got moved up to London Spitfire, right? And our so in terms of Lone Spitfire, right? When I was free agent in, I think it was 2020 in the
Yeah.
contenders.
Yeah.
When I was free agent, I got some Overwatch League teams like
Yeah.
messaging me. I'm tryouting for different Overwatch League teams,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I always wanted to go with London Spitfire, you know, because it was like my OG org, you know,
You were
and
the first one to approach you and to give you a paycheck and stuff like that.
yes, exactly. So I
Yeah.
wanted to kind of stay loyal with them, you know.
Yeah.
But I've had other teams like give interest, give offers, you know.
Yeah.
But like deep in my heart, I always wanted to like just stick with Cloud9 org, you know, because
Yeah.
they treated me well always. Um,
Is
and
it
I also wanted to stay with a lot of my teammates.
is it
So yeah.
always is it always been like um for you, like, because you also said when you were playing your first open division back in the day, you didn't want to leave your team. So has loyalty always been like on the forefront of your choice making or decision making? Like, have you always been more of a team player more than a different teams player?
Yeah, I think so. I've always been like more of a team player. I liked like I really enjoy like the part of the game where you're like playing as a team and you're having a good time together, you know, and it's all like you're trying to go through thick and thin together, you
Together with
know,
the same
and
team. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, with the same team, with the same players, you
Right.
know,
Right.
not even necessarily the org.
Right.
I think like in terms of like my career, I was like always like very, very loyal to people. Maybe sometimes a bit too much, you know. If you look to it in hindsight, maybe some of the decisions
Yeah.
I could have done better, or
Yeah.
being just a bit more of a snake, you know, and maybe. But I never
And
liked that approach, you know. It was like never something that felt right to me, if that makes sense.
got
Like
it,
I
got it.
never
As a human
like
being, as ethics,
yeah,
morals. Yeah.
yeah, it just didn't feel right, you know? It just
Right.
didn't feel right. I just enjoyed having a good time with some good people.
and
So,
and
yeah.
you did well, man, like sticking with the team and doing this, the entire journey, the entire legacy that you've left behind for tank players has been absolutely amazing. But that brings me to a point, like, we know you as the Reinhardt guy, right? Like a proper Reinhardt guy. Everyone knows you as a Reinhardt guy, or at least
Yes.
they knew you. And now whenever I pop into your stream, you're playing Mauga, man. You're playing fucking Mauga. Okay, so
Yes.
you have to explain a couple of things to me. Like, throughout your playing days, you're still playing, you're playing at the highest level, of course. Throughout your playing days from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, how has the tank role kind of evolved? Also, how did you transition from being that Reinhardt guy, occasionally Winston here and there, to someone who just plays whatever is required? Like, I've seen you play Mauga, I've seen you play Orisa, I've seen you play a bit of everything and a lot of everything also. I've seen you play a lot of things. So just brush me up of the evolution of tank from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2, or like your perspective on it. I have my own perspective. Derpy has his own perspective. This guy has his own. They have their own perspective on how the tank role has evolved. But I want to hear from you. Like played at the highest level, of course, in Owl and stuff. So Overwatch 1 tank role to now tank role. How has things changed?
I mean, okay, in Overwatch 1, right?
Yeah.
You have main tank and off tank, right?
Yeah.
Like really like separate roles that barely like interclash, you know. The off tank is gonna be like the D.Va, Zarya, Sigma guy, you know, while the main tank is gonna be the Ryan, Winston, Wrecking Ball, Orisa,
Right.
you know,
Right.
type of person.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just play those heroes and you play that as a role, you know, like always the off tank and Overwatch 1 takes the side, you know, plays more of like a protector role, help it like enabling DPS and main tank, you know, carrying you for your supports, while main tank goes and like creates the space in the middle, you know, tries to like set up their team in different ways than off tank does, you know, like kind of starting the fight, stuff like that, leading the fight. And that's also like what I always enjoyed, like in Overwatch, just like being like the leader, you know, making the calls, doing stuff like that. In Overwatch 2, it's a bit different because there's only one tank role, right? So all like a lot of the characters, or like basically all of the characters, you main tank, off tank, it's all the same, you know. It plays all very similar. Like it's all just main tank role where you're just looking to get kills, you know. Basically, they just changed the role into, instead of tank, you're kind of like a big DPS role, just running around trying to get kills, but still leading your team. Depending on like comp, right? If you're playing like a sim comp, maybe your D.Va is gonna care more for your sim. Your sim kind of turns into a tank.
Yeah.
If you're playing like a Zarya comp, maybe you're a bit more of a supportive role, but you're still like the main tank role. You're still like in the middle, you know, like
You're
you're still
always
like
standing
the
at the helm of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, you're always standing at the helm of it, regardless what character you're playing. So you're kind of required to like play all of the heroes, you know, or at least like fill around your gaps. The only like difference nowadays in Overwatch 2 between main tank and off tank is just like the preferability and like the skill of on heroes, you know, like how proficient you are on a hero, right? So it's like an off tank, like the only difference between like main tank and off tank is just like what heroes you're good at. Do you know what I mean? Like the traditional main tank players, they're like good at like those Winston, like Reinhardt, Wrecking Ball, Doomfist, like
Yeah.
type of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But the traditional off tank is good at like the D.Va, Zarya, you know, Sigma type of
Exactly.
characters.
Yeah.
Like even though it's like both like there's not a role difference. Do you know what I mean? There's just like a player
Player
difference in
difference.
terms of
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
what heroes you're better at, you know, even though like the role like works similarly. It's just like there's a lot of tanks, you know. It's hard to be like the best at, like, I don't know how many tanks there are, but it's like the it's hard to be like the best at
On
10
all.
tanks, you
Yeah.
know.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's the only reason why it's like even divided sometimes, and while like some teams have two tank players, you know, it's just about the proficiency at heroes and not about like a role or a play style.
Got it.
So I would say that's the difference.
So have you always, like, when it comes to Overwatch 2, have you always been that, like, you've picked the heroes according to the heroes that you were good at in Overwatch 1, or like to be honest, like calling Reinhardt or Winston, like the ones which were main tank focused in Overwatch 1? Have you kind of shifted your focus to get better at the main tankish tanks in Overwatch 2, or like did you also you know fill your gaps the way you said, like on off tanks?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, the thing is, some heroes come more naturally to you, and some heroes like less naturally, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So like,
exactly.
like especially like at the start of Overwatch 2, right? Like even in the pre-release in Overwatch League, it's like a lot of teams sign two tank players, because they're like, okay, we need somebody who's good at off tanks, like traditional off tanks. We need somebody who's good at traditional main tanks, right? So they like a lot of the teams at the start of the first Overwatch League at the first Overwatch 2 Overwatch League season,
Yeah.
they signed two different tank players. So you kinda didn't have to learn the off
The
tanks or the
other one.
main tanks, vice versa. You
Yeah.
didn't have to learn the other one, especially because back in the day in the game there were no bans. So it's like if you're planning to versus this team or on this map you want to play Diva, you can just put in your Diva player.
Got
Like
it. Got it.
you didn't have to
Ask your
worry
main
about
tank
ban.
guy to play diva. You don't have to ask your main tank guy to, can you flex to diva or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to most of the time, there's not really a need when you have two tank players. You kind of just have those players and you're like, okay, when Winston is meta, we'll play our main tank player. When Diva's
Right.
meta, we're gonna play our off tank player, and the other guys just sit on the bench and relax.
Got it.
So that was kind of the thing. And then I mean, then every other hero that like got released, it got more natural to practice. Do you know what I mean? Like it's harder to catch up on, for example, heroes like Diva. It's harder for me to catch up on the Diva players. Do you know what I mean? Who
Yeah.
already have years practicing Diva. It's hard to catch up. But when a new hero gets released, like for
Yeah.
example, when
It's new for
Mauga gets
everyone.
released,
It's new for everyone.
yeah, exactly. When Mauga or Ramatra get released, or like when Junker Queen gets released, or when Hazard gets released, right? It's new for everyone, so everyone has like the same starting point.
Yeah.
So at that point, at every new hero, it doesn't really matter. If you're a main tank or an off tank player, you can just learn them and see if you're like good at them, naturally good at them, or just grind them out. Because everybody is on the same starting point. If that makes sense.
Got it. So is tank playing tank today compared to yesterday? By yesterday I mean Overwatch 1 days.
Yeah.
Is it more stressful or is it like more uh, I don't know, exciting? Like, do you get a like? Can you wake up every day saying, "Oh fuck, I have to play tank," or do you wake up, "Oh fuck, I have to play tank"? That's good.
No, I like to. No, I mean, I always just enjoyed playing tank,
Yeah.
especially now with hero bans. If you're bad at a tank that's meta, you can just ban that tank, Like, for example, if Diva is like really strong and you're playing ranked, you can just ban Diva every game, for example. But in competitive play, it's a bit like different, Sometimes if you're like the solo tank for a team and your team is like like in a series you can only ban a hero one time,
One
right?
time,
So
one
it's
hero.
like
Yeah.
so it's like if Diva is meta and everyone wants to play Diva
Yeah.
and you're like the tank player,
Yeah.
we can only ban Diva one
Yeah.
time, and then you're just like, okay, the enemy team, we need Diva versus this comp, and you're like not that good on Diva. Like for example, like me, like you're like, oh, we're not that good at Diva. Okay, what are we gonna do? Like then it becomes a bit more stressful. Do you know what I mean? In
Yes.
Overwatch 1, it was less stressful because it didn't feel like you had gaps. Do you know
Yes.
what I mean? Like
There's another tank for you. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. There's another tank for you, and you can just focus on your strengths.
Yeah.
And now sometimes, like it is in like professional play, you have to iron out your weaknesses. So it's like, I would say I would say in ranked, it
Yeah.
doesn't really change anything in
Yeah.
terms of like stress. Like the
Yeah.
stress level of just playing ranked is like the same. You
Yeah.
can just ban your stuff and play your favorite. It's really okay.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it works out like great with bans. But in like OWCS play with the ban system, I would say like a tank player's life is more stressful, or it's like more meta reliant, unless you're like that great tank player that can literally play every hero,
Every hero. Yeah.
but it doesn't happen, like for example, even like players like someone, like like he's like really praised for his flexibility, right?
Right.
But if there's a diva or wrecking ball meta, he's not gonna be that great at those heroes. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, for that meta, maybe we need another guy, or if we like, it's gonna be stressful, more stressful, I would say. For
So these teams, like when you play these kind of tournaments, when the certain hero is meta, right?
Mhm.
Is it healthy for a team to pick a couple of tanks more than anything else in the team? Because if there is a tank heavy meta, which more often than not it is, because there is always
Mhm.
a certain set of tanks which are more powerful than the other, and the
Mhm.
meta is kind of built around the tanks. So
Mhm.
when you named someone, right, someone, the player, of course, uh,
Yeah.
if there is a meta like a diva meta or a ball meta, and someone is playing for a certain team, does that team just automatically lose, or is the team smart enough, or should the team be smart enough to pick another guy on tank, so that someone doesn't have to like go through that misery and pain if that happens, if that is how I'm going to put it.
I'm not sure. It's like it's tough in a way,
Yeah, yeah,
because I think in the Overwatch, like Overwatch 2 Pro meta,
yeah,
it seems to be meta to have one tank player. That's how it seems to,
yeah,
like it
yeah,
seems to be good to
yeah,
like the
yeah,
best option is to just have one tank player and
yeah,
then pick around them.
yeah,
Basically, like have them play their strengths and pick like comps around what favors your tank player,
yeah,
and like basically hope that the meta is playable for your tank. Like
right,
unironically, for example, like imagine
yeah,
we had like all of these EU teams, right? And imagine they're sticking with solo tank,
yeah,
and then all of a sudden Winston Ryan is hard meta. Like imagine we had those teams like in EU with like players like Zia, Tivin, KSA,
yeah,
and they would be the only teams, and then like Winston Ryan is meta. Okay,
yeah,
what
that
do
would
you
be,
do?
yeah,
At,
exactly,
at at that point you have to like sign a new player or like hope that they rapidly improve. So sometimes it can be tough, sometimes it's a bit of a gamble, you know what I mean? You're kind of gambling on a hero like staying strong in a
right.
sense, if that makes sense.
How has the meta been for you? Like, have you ever been a part of this gamble? Like, where you ever like that guy who's the team relied upon on being it? Like, I followed your entire space station gaming, the win that you got, the famous OWCS
Hmm.
win that you got. I was following it. Mauga was meta, right?
Hmm.
At that point, and you played Mauga. So
Hmm.
were you a part of that gamble that paid off, or do you think that you were that good on Mauga that you didn't really care about anything else?
I think I was good on Mauga. I don't
Yeah,
think like us like not doing too good at the Stockholm like had anything like to do with my like skill on Mauga, because
right.
like I said, like Mauga is like one of the new release hero, right? So
Yeah,
like you have
yeah,
like the same like set point. If I was like solo tank, it would be a diva, like a diva meta where you have to one trick diva. It's not good.
yeah,
Like it's you have to like pick around it. You have to try to counter diva in other ways, or you have to like hope like, okay, my four other players are really good and we have like a good coaching structure, so me being worse on diva doesn't matter in that sense.
got
for
it.
example for example in London Spitfire, my first season in person in Los Angeles, right? We had
Yeah,
Poco and me, right? So we had like both of the tank players. If Diva Sigma would be
yeah,
meta, Diva Sigma Zaya, we had Poco. On the other maps, like we had me, right?
yeah,
For
yeah,
main tank,
yeah,
because
yeah,
main tank was kind of heavy. It like Winston was really strong, Reinhardt was really strong,
yeah,
Wrecking Ball sometimes.
yeah,
So it was fine for me. But then the season afterwards, like we didn't have poker anymore, and I was the solo tank. And
exactly.
then we're playing into matters where like the
Yeah,
Korean Winston dive is really strong or like stuff like that. And then we had to figure out strategies, you know what I mean? And that's where like the Reinhardt comp is like really infamous from, where we had to find like creative ways to like beat the meta or make our own meta because of like restrictions that we had in the team, because we don't have like a Korean Winston player, or we don't have like a Korean Ana player,
Anna.
or we don't have like off tank player,
Yeah,
to
yeah,
counter some of these
yeah,
comps,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
etc. etc.
Makes
So
sense.
sometimes it can be stressful. For example, like even like me, like those like seasons, it was fine. But then like the like last year, I would even say like like Ram is one of the new heroes, right? So I'm good at Ram. I'm really comfortable in my skill on Ram. But like the last year, or like the OWCS year, it was like Diva, Zaya, Sigma.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Like Diva, Zaya mostly,
yeah, yeah.
like comps, sometimes Ram, but then even at the end, like Diva won over Ram. And I was kind of, when I was playing with TM, and I think like that's why I got cut, like this last year. It's because I couldn't, like, I wasn't like good enough or like comfortable enough on this like Diva
Yeah,
comp,
yeah, yeah,
like it was just like Diva was too strong,
yeah.
and people like they wanted to play around Diva, and like traditional main tank heroes, they were like really pretty irrelevant,
Right, right.
so it's tough. It's tough sometimes, and yeah,
So
I
you've
don't
been
know,
you've
like
been you've been part of the gambles, like yes, of course
yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah. I've
Every tank
like
player
I
had
had
a phaser.
like I had Tiven, like we had Tiven on the roster,
Right.
right?
Even
TVNT
TVNT.
when I was playing,
Yeah.
but like players wanted to play me for other reasons, but then we didn't have diva pool.
I
Like
get it.
it's like the problem. I feel like sometimes you need to like full commit to a player, but it, like, for you as a tank player, like your perspective, like when you were asking, is it more stressful or less stressful, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're kind of like flip-flopping between some tank players,
Yeah.
sometimes it's harder. Do you know what I mean? Because you're like, oh, we need diva, like, and you're like thinking about your teammates, and your teammates are like, fuck, now we have Hadi, and I wish we had Tivent in this map, so we could swap to diva, and it would be so much easier. So sometimes it's tough, with the thing in London Spitfire that season where I was solo tank. It was still stressful because we're like, oh, we should play these heroes instead of like playing like Reinhardt and stuff like that. But at some point there's like a mindset shift, and you're like kind of like, the best success we had and how we like turned around that Overwatch League season
Yeah.
was with like the mindset of like burning the boats, if you know what I mean. You're like, okay, we're gonna go all in on this,
Yeah.
we're gonna play to our comfort, and we're gonna play like the Baptiste, the Lucio, the Kiriko, like those like Sim May composition with backbone, we're just gonna play to our player strength and do our best. And that's what, when we had like
And,
the best success,
that worked out.
but
Yes. Yes.
yeah, and it worked out well, right?
Yeah.
But then you have a season like the start of the season that I had with Twisted Minds, where I'm like, okay, guys, I can play Ryan, I can play Rum for you, I can play Winston, I can play Wrecking Ball, I can play Mauga for you, it's okay. But then we're it's like, oh fuck, I wish we had a diva, I
Diva,
wish we
right.
had a diva, and then we just don't have like a diva, like, because even like if TVNT is on my roster, right? Like my diva
Yeah.
doesn't compare to like KSA or Ziad, like for sure I can pick up diva and rank, and
Yeah.
stomp some 9 to 5 players, right? Like
Yeah.
I can do that, but I
Yeah.
can't like compete with
Yeah.
those like Ziad, KSA, or like Tivent if he was on another roster, Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just cannot, because
Yeah.
it's I don't know, it's like too
It's
hard in a way,
just that one hero. Yeah. Like it comes into the meta
Exactly.
and yeah.
Uh, yeah, just that one hero, it comes into the meta, and you feel like you can't counter her,
Yeah.
and you feel like your teammates hate you for not playing diva. Do
Exactly.
you know what I mean?
It gets
And
more
it's all
stressful.
like, yeah, it gets more stressful because you like wake up and you're
Yeah.
like, now I'm gonna be a burden for my
The
team.
team.
That's how
Yeah.
you feel, like, oh,
Yeah.
we can't play diva, I'm gonna be a burden, and
Yeah.
it's gonna be sad, and then you feel sad, and then
Kind of.
everything bad, like maybe like if you try really hard you can play around it, like I said with that like London Spitfire thing, like Reinhardt Symmetra wasn't meta, like nobody was playing it, but we had great success with it.
Yeah.
But it was kind of because we in London Spitfire, we had like the mindset, do you know what I mean, of we're gonna make this work, and we put so many hours into VOD reviewing and learning the game, and basically like bending the game to our will.
Our
We're like, okay, we know we're playing at a disadvantage, but
yeah.
if we just have better strategy, plus we have good mechanics on the heroes that we're good at, we can win.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. Like we won was like players that have like insane paycheck, insane reputation.
Yeah.
But you kind of need a team to trust and to want to work even when it's hard. But that's what I mean with like the two tank player option. sometimes if you have this other tank like in the back pocket and he's like lurking in the shadows and it's not even a flame to anybody,
No, no, I
it's
get
just
it.
like, oh, you have
Can
this
I
other
have
guy
him?
who could,
Yeah.
yeah, can I this is too hard, like your teammates are just like, guys, why are we putting ourselves at a disadvantage if we could just play our other guy who maybe is a bit worse on Mauga, maybe not, even, but at least we can swap to Diva,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then it's like a team environment is like so in depth with like mental and like people trusting each other and people being happy. Like it's so important in a team environment to like have that, and if you don't have that, it kind of fucks up, but I'm like very happy for like Twisted Minds that they were able to like create that environment, obviously, but that's just how I feel,
That's a
and like at the
part of life actually. Like no two
yes.
teams can be same. Like you the days that you spent with London Spitfire, the transition that you bought in that team might not
Yeah.
transition. Like it cannot, like you cannot just, like reciprocating is not a part. Like I think different experiences make you who you are actually, like to be honest. Like you
Yeah.
had one kind of experience there, then other experiences in probably space station gaming and stuff, the success with space station gaming, and then a different kind of experience with Twisted Minds, I feel.
Yes, for sure, for sure. I agree with you. Like you need to find like the right fit.
Exactly, for
Sometimes
yourself.
yeah, sometimes you can bend it, sometimes it just doesn't work. And like
Yeah.
Twisted Minds, they found the right fit afterwards, and did amazingly. So yeah.
Kudos to him. We'll just finish this off by like two more things. Like I just really want to know what is in hold for you in future, but we'll keep that question for the last. We just touch on the spotlight. Like the spotlight got announced yesterday, right? um you as a pro player, also as a content creator, where do you see yourself in this entire Overwatch journey of spotlight and five new heroes and new maps, probably uh,
Hmm.
tons of money being poured into like the esports scenes right now? I'm pretty sure, like, because they're coming up with so much content and they're coming up with such new ideas of the game, they're gonna pour some decent amount of money in the esports scene as well, like 100%. Like it has to
Hmm.
happen. It has to happen. So where do you see yourself in this entire? Because I saw Team the Tatman react to it. I saw all the big streamers, all the everyone that plays the game and doesn't play the game have positive comments about the spotlight. What is your opinion on the spotlight scene? What do you feel about the new heroes that were announced?
I think it's really, 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 really good. Like really, really, I'm like super positive about it. I think there's like
Right.
so much stuff to be happy about. Like they're releasing new heroes, they're putting in like story effort, putting out cinematics and stuff. Like changing the in-role like passives are gonna be like so big for the game.
Yeah.
They have the passive that we have right now in the game with like the DPS passive, where like you receive less healing. If a DPS shoots you, that's going
Yeah.
to be a global passive, for
Yeah.
every character.
Yeah.
And I think like that's going to be so big, and I think it's going to change up the meta so much, and get so many like eyes to the game. Like basically, like I'm like super happy about it, especially now for me that I'm focusing on content more instead of like pro career.
Right.
Like I think I'm pretty settled on, like, unless there's like a really good opportunity to go like pro again.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, like, I talking about myself, right?
Yeah.
I've like a itch. Do you know what I mean? Like, because I love competing, right? It's
Exactly.
super fun to me. So I have like a bit of an itch. It's hard for me to give it up, if
Right.
you know what I mean.
Right. Right.
Like it's hard for me personally to just give that chapter up and like open a new chapter with just going like full all in on content,
Content. Yeah.
because there's always something in the back of my mind, you know what I mean? Like there's always something in the back of my mind telling me, oh, competing is so fun. It's so fun, like
Yeah.
flying out to these different events, beating other teams, proving that you're one of the best,
Yeah.
achieving great
Yeah.
stuff with a
Yeah.
great like squad of people.
Yeah.
There's like something about it. Yeah. So
So
yeah. So, but unless there comes a good opportunity, I think I think I'm gonna just be fully happy investing myself fully into the content side,
Right.
because honestly, I mean, at the start we've talked like about the money that it brings, but
Yeah.
it's also very fun. Like the thing is like the difference, like being content creator or pro player, like content, it's way less stressful. Do you know what I mean? Like when we talked about like the stress of like being a pro player, compare that to like content, you don't have to perform, you know what I mean? Like you have to be good to a certain extent to like so people think that you're good, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
but like but even like players like Kenzo, you know,
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
see TikTok comments,
yeah,
you know, the real Kenzo, the
yeah.
Widow player.
The Widow player.
Again, like no shade, right? But he's like masters, you know, and you
Yeah.
see TikTok players, TikTok like comments, they're like, "Well,
Oh, the
Kenzo is the
best player.
best Widow in the
Best player.
world, the
Yeah.
best Widow in the world." You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you're a content creator, it doesn't matter if you're rank one, you know, it doesn't matter to be rank one. You just have to like be funny, make some good content, you know, like just be entertaining, be there for your community. Like it's way less stressful, you know, because you don't feel like that need, you know. Like it's not like when I have to log into my stream, of course I want to play good and I want to win, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want
Yeah.
to go on a 10 losing streak,
Yeah.
but you can also be like, okay, a 10 losing streak, it can be content, you know.
Yeah.
Like it can still be like fun for my viewers to watch you tilt, and but like you want to have good, but you don't have to be good, you know what I mean? If you're a pro player and you wake up and you play a match and you're completely int, yeah, maybe
No,
your
that's
job
it.
is on the line.
Yeah, you
Do you
jump
know?
on that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's just that's it, you know. Like if people in the pro community, okay, nice, next month I cannot, like I have to next month I have to grab into my savings, you know. But if you're but if you're a content creator,
You don't have
you
to.
play shit,
Exactly.
but as long as you're doing your stuff in terms of you're putting in the hours and you're being funny
Yeah.
and you're putting out other content and you're
Yeah.
putting in the work,
Yeah.
like and just like you don't have to perform, you just have to put in the work.
Yeah.
You have to perform in like other aspects that in my opinion are easier to perform in. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like, and it feels also like it feels it's easier because like it feels like you can affect it more. Do you know what I mean? For example, if I wake up
Yeah.
tomorrow, if I'm a pro player and I wake up tomorrow and all of my heroes are unplayable and it's only Diva, Zaya, Sigma, and now I have to be like, fuck, do I have to like, do I like, I have to practice Diva, Zaya and get good at those, or my
Yeah.
job is gone. But if I wake up tomorrow and I'm a content creator
Yeah.
and Diva, Zaya, Sigma are just broken
Yeah.
and only those heroes can be played, it's fine, right?
Yeah.
Like I can just play ranked, you know, and
Yeah.
I can just focus on
Lose,
other
yeah.
stuff, you know.
You can
Yeah, it's
lose
just
to Diva Sigma Zarya and still be content. You know, you can complain about the
yeah.
heroes be
Uh,
broken.
yes, I can make a video and or
Yeah.
like, oh, this shit is so broken, you know. I
Yeah.
can make a
Exactly.
tweet and
Yeah.
I can complain about the game. But when you're a pro player, what does it give you to
Nothing.
complain? You know,
Nothing.
nothing. You just
Nothing.
lose your job. You know,
Exactly.
if you like, it just lose your job. It doesn't give you anything to actually complain, right? You have to be good. So it's way less stress to be content. So and with now I was like really uncertain about my future, you know, in terms of like, okay, what am I gonna do? Like,
Right.
because the like if we compared if we compare like Twitch and content to
Yeah.
being pro player,
Yeah.
the nice thing about being a pro player, that if you're decently consistently good, or if you're just consistently good, you at least get a monthly paycheck, you know, from your org. And I mean, hopefully, you know,
Yeah.
as long as you have a good org, you will get that monthly paycheck from your org. and and you can kind of rely on some money. So on Twitch it's a bit more like performance based, but it also feels like you have more impact in a sense.
It's under your
But
control. You have the control
yes,
over
like
it.
it's more under
Exactly.
your control, right?
Yeah.
Because yeah,
You
for
you
sure, for sure. Uh,
you can create your content. You can use your YouTube to monetize it. You have TikTok in your country to do it. You have Instagram
yes,
Reels. You can monetize it like seven other ways, probably.
yes, you have a lot of more power, you know, you have a lot of more power yourself. And with the spotlight, I actually think like Overwatch is gonna be great, you know. I feel like now when we're like talking about playing Overwatch as a tank, and let's like talk about like the fun factor of the game,
Yeah.
because that's what I'm thinking about. Because today with like all of the like spotlight stuff and people talking about it,
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be so much more fun for like those like Winston, like those Wrecking Ball heroes, like even Reinhardt, like they're bringing like the the old passive back to Reinhardt. It's gonna be super fun to play with. Like they're changing they're changing a lot of the perks, they're changing the passives, like now I imagine, okay, you're gonna play Winston and then you don't have two supports targeting each other because you also apply the healing resistance
Healing
onto the
resistance.
player. Like,
Exactly.
so that's gonna be so fun to play with. Like I really think they changed the game like extremely for the better. Maybe some of the balancing is gonna be a bit wonky, right? Like you don't know what's gonna be like
Hit and
if
try.
it's gonna be
They'll
because
keep.
there's 5 new heroes, right?
Yeah.
5 new heroes. You have to balance the old heroes, the new heroes, new maps. But I think like in a sense of like a content creator side, it's like so good, like it's like so like there could be nothing better because there's gonna be so much, like you can talk about the perks,
Yeah.
you can experiment with the perks, you can play the new heroes. Like I'm so excited for that new tank hero, like name, I think it's Domina, right? Like
Yeah.
that Domina hero.
Symmetra Zarya. I don't know what it
Yeah,
is. Yeah.
Symmetra, like from like Symmetra lore, like the
Yeah.
Vishka
Yeah.
Corporation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and I think she looks super fun, like her design looks nice, and I can't wait to play her. I'm gonna like do like a unranked to champ or whatever, on that character, and I think she's gonna be so fun, and I mean,
I
I
mean,
just like
your
look
content
really
will just
forward.
your content will just blow up because like it's a new hero. You're good at the game. You can grasp the
Yes,
hero. You can grasp the hero more easily than others. Like if you compare it to the top
yes,
one half top 0.05%, you just can grasp the hero better than the others because you've been playing the game for long and played the highest level. And
yes,
yeah, so it just easier for you to transition into the content side because you can grasp the heroes good. You can give your 2 cents about that hero. You can teach others. You can
yeah.
give them the content, so it becomes
Like stuff, like
yeah,
I've been like a pro, like I've been like a salaried pro for like I don't know, like 6 years,
yeah,
like I
yeah,
know my stuff about the game, I understand the game, even when I'm not good at Diva, I still understand how to play Diva, even though I'm not Ziyad on Diva, I still know how to play like all of
yeah,
these comms and stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Also I pride myself in like my knowledge and understanding of the game, like playing these like Reinhardt Symmetra comms, they need like a lot of knowledge, like
Insane comms. Yes.
uh, yeah, like it's like so much macro, when you're
Yeah,
playing like into those
yeah.
like Korean Winston Anna comms, and you need to know what to do, and like it needs like so much. So I think like throughout all of those years I learned so much about the game, and like you can like it's really good, and I think it's like super fun, and I'm like really looking forward like the spotlight stuff. I think it's gonna like change up the game so much, and I think it's gonna change the game to like something like way better. The
Then
only
what it
thing
is,
that I
yeah.
think
And it's
the only
coming so
thing that I
soon.
think
It's coming so
yeah,
soon.
exactly, it's
Yeah.
coming in like from our recording now, it's coming in
Yeah.
5 days,
Five
like
days. Exactly.
exact
5
from
days.
now,
Yeah.
even the
Yeah.
time exactly
5
in
days.
5 days
Yeah.
from now
Very
it's gonna
exciting.
drop. It's super, super, super exciting, and I think there's like a lot to do. The only crazy thing is I think it's gonna be the jetpack cat. I think the jetpack cat is gonna change the game so much, or the jetpack cat will just be banned every game
Perma band. Yeah.
yeah, perma banned in ranked for
Till
sure.
till people
But
figure out what to do, or it gets a nerf, or I don't know. Like I've
yeah,
seen the
like
ult is like Jeff or something. Like it can just whoop you off the map. Like it can take you, carry you, and just throw you off the map. I think the ult.
yeah, the jetpack cat gonna be so 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 like fun and weird. I think like what I'm personally most excited for, right? Because even if I'm not competing in pro play, I will be watching all of the pro play, right? Like I will
Commenting in ult.
co-stream all of
Yeah.
that stuff,
Yeah.
commentate, right? Like
Yeah.
probably co-cast it, co-stream it.
Yeah.
What I'm super interested in, if jetpack cat is actually strong, right? It's again what we're talking about, right? That you can
Yeah.
ban D.Va one time in a series, but if you can only ban Jetpack Cat one time in the series. And
That's
if
it.
Jetpack Cat's actually broken, we're gonna see so much
So many
Jetpack
Jetpack
Cat, so
Cats.
many crazy plays. I've seen D.Va bombs being lifted up into the enemy team. I've seen
Mauga Cage.
like high,
Mauga Cage.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mauga Cage. I see Ryan Shatter going
Yeah.
into the skybox. I've seen like High Noon into the skybox. You
Oh
can
my
pull the
god.
enemies off the map with the
Yeah.
ult, Like
Yeah.
I mean that hero is gonna be so crazy. And if it actually turns meta, the pros like uh, I'm like that might be like one of the only times where I'm happy that I'm not a
I'm not
pro
pro.
competing, because I swear the pros, they're gonna complain so much about Jetpack Cat because it's gonna make the game like so wonky. That's
Yeah.
what I think. Like imagine you have an Ana getting like it's like a live weaver paddle, but everywhere. Do you know
Everywhere.
what I mean? It's
It's
like
just
you
moving
just go
around.
up with the paddle, you just move an Ana in with a nade into the
Yeah.
enemy spawn, and you nade and
That's
you
too much
go and you
fun.
nano boost. It's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna make the game crazy. Like I've seen, because I streamed today, right?
Yeah.
And people ask me about my opinion, and I'm like super positive about it, right?
Yeah.
But you know the competitive scene, right? The competitive scene change, not good. There's some change, and they don't like it, right? So I've had
Exactly.
a lot of I've had like some of the viewers be like, oh, do you think it's gonna be like too crazy, like too much, like what do you think? And I'm like super positive about it. I'm like, maybe in like a pro scene perspective it can be a bit messed up, but I think like for your average player, and like even up to just ranked pro, even to that, like basically everything that's not like OWCS or Faceit League, I think it's gonna be so good. I don't know how it's gonna be for Faceit League and OWCS. I think it's gonna be funny to watch. That's what I think. Maybe I'm gonna feel bad for the players having to play it, but
Yeah,
I'm
but
gonna be. It's
as
gonna be so fun to
a spectator
watch.
to watch it on your YouTube Shorts or your TikToks,
Yes,
it'll be so
exactly,
such good content. Like every single day, you
exactly.
can make like seven clips of that one thing doing, and plus the
Yeah,
character
yes,
is kind of cute, so he makes a lot of
yes,
clip farming. I think like Jeff in Marvel
yes, and
Rivals.
yes, exactly. It's like Jeff, but in the air, like
In the
legit.
air,
And
exactly.
you can see quads being lifted up with an overclock or with a high noon and killing everybody,
Yeah.
or Ziad or TVNT's Diva Bomb getting lifted into the sky.
And
It's
then going
um
into enemy team and just killing five or something.
yeah, it's gonna be so crazy, so fun to watch, I think. Like, if the hero is actually strong,
Yeah.
like in terms of like a numbers game, like in terms of how good is the ult compared to like Kitsune and Beat, like stuff like that. If the hero is actually like viable in terms of like a mouse one healing and damage and
Yeah.
ult base, and is actually strong, it's gonna be so fun to like watch the pros play with it. I really think so. And also like in terms of the game health,
Yeah.
right? Like I think a lot of people, including me, from like the highest level of play, even ranked,
Yeah.
like we've been fed up with like this Diva, Zaya, Lucio, Kiriko, Sojourn, like all of that
One
stuff
dimensional
with
play. Yeah.
yeah, it's not even about like one dimensional. It's just like it's like the same as like the ghost meta we had in Overwatch 1. It's like a fun meta, but it's too long. Do you know what I mean? Like realistically, Lucio Kiri has been like meta since Kiri's release.
Yeah.
Like sometimes we've had like a tiny bit of different stuff. Like sometimes we had like a month or two with different stuff. But even when we had like Juno Break, it's
Yeah.
like the same fundamentals of the game,
Yeah.
like in, out, push, pull. Always been so strong and so meta. But now they've also like added like sizable Kiriko nerfs. They added like new supports, new DPS. Like maybe Sojourn gets replaced by
Yeah.
Emre. Like
Maybe.
maybe Lucio
Maybe.
Kiriko gets like replaced by Jetpack Cat and that new support. I don't know their name. Like maybe we're gonna see so many new comps, so many new characters. Like I think it's gonna be such a great shake up to the game. Because
It's
and I
needed
think that's
also.
what Overwatch. Yeah,
It's needed. It's needed for the
I
game.
think I think yes, I think it's super needed, like uh, that's why I was looking so forward to that spotlight, right?
Yeah.
Because if it's like, okay, it's gonna be another year of Lucio Kiriko, Sojourn, and off tank, it's like, But I'm watching now, and I'm like, okay, maybe it's finally gonna break. Maybe Blizzard has broken what they've created. Like by force of adding 5 new heroes and 1 new hero every season as well. And so much content, collabs. It's gonna be so helpful for the game. They put a Hello Kitty collab. Everyone's gonna buy that. Blizzard's gonna be happy that they're making money. Players gonna be happy they're getting content. I think we're going towards like a really, 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 really strong year for Overwatch.
10
Like I've been
heroes.
like super excited. Yeah, 10
10
heroes.
heroes.
10
Never
heroes.
done before. This has never been done before in the history of Overwatch, by the way. Like
Yes,
this
yes.
amount of pushing, so they are actually like it's very nice to see that they are they're answering back. Like Marvel Rivals took the forefront for a bit because they gave us so much content in the scene. Like they gave us
Yes,
like so
yes.
many heroes, so many maps. Deadpool release was awesome. Like I mean, the entire idea around Deadpool was good, and other heroes also. Like they did a lot of content based. They gave us PvE before Overwatch did. So
Yes.
now I think
I think
Overwatch
like,
is catching up.
exactly, and the Marvel release is good, right? Like for sure, this wouldn't have happened without Marvel
Marvel
being a
Rivals, exactly,
competitor. Do you know what I mean? Like
exactly.
with Marvel being a competitor, always like, oh, we gotta step it up, and I'm super happy,
Yeah.
like because Overwatch, I don't know, they were like, it was like a kind of like a turning point. Blizzard could have been like, okay, we're just gonna roll, we're just gonna do the bare minimum, and see what. But it seems like Blizzard, like this spotlight, it kind of shows you they care. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And they want their game to be the more popular one and the
Yeah.
better game, and they want to like win that war.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
and as like an Overwatch player, and like I said, even though like I tried Marvel, I've always been more passionate about Overwatch.
Overwatch.
Even when the meta wasn't like that fun, still the game just so good. So fun to play. So I think it's really like the year of Overwatch. I'm super
Hopefully.
happy about it.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
and I wish the best to you because there is so much content, being pushed
Yes.
by Overwatch, and since your focus is mainly on content, till something substantial doesn't come up to your,
Yeah.
to your way, till then you'll be focusing on content, and we love to watch you play the game, and we love to watch you compete at least on streams. So more content for you means more content for us as well. So that will be like
Yes.
really, really helpful for us. And I hope you do well in the next years to come. And I hope to catch up with you as soon as you size up your content size and like you get a lot of viewers. Then we'll knock up again, and then we'll ask
Of
like,
course.
was this spotlight good for you, or
Of course.
what's your plan then? And then we'll see where it goes from there.
Thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah,
so
man.
much.
I really
I
appreciate
really
this.
yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity. Thank you so much. And yeah, what I want to say, thank you to everyone supporting me throughout the years. Thank you guys for supporting me on this journey now, on this different journey in terms of content. You can check me out on Twitch TV, Hadi underscore OW, and then soon you will also see me more posting on the YouTubes and the TikToks. Hopefully you'll see me on your feed,
Yes, man,
So
100%.
hopefully you will get me recommended to your feed, so you don't even have to look me up. But yeah, streams pretty much every day, starting early CET time. So
9 a.m.
yeah, yes, 9 a.m., 10 a.m. CET. So yeah, thank you guys so much, and thank you so much, Shine. I
Yes,
really appreciate the opportunity being here
appreciate,
and
man,
talking.
and appreciate your time, man. And I really hope the audience, whoever watches this, like I'm pretty sure a lot of Indians watch this, a lot of Indians and South Asian people who get inspired by you, and I hope more of them,
Awesome.
they come into the scene and they start competing or at least making content around Overwatch, and that will be it.
Yes.
That'll be it. Thank you so much, man. It has been a pleasure chatting with you, and I hope to see you again back soon, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's clobbering time. Boom, boom, feel the